What a start this has been. 3 minutes in. Wow, Aston Villa have put Man City under the pump here. Duran with that early chance, 20 seconds in. And then coming from that corner, Pau Torres, two magnificent saves by Stefan Ortega. Man City have been rocked to their foundations here. Can they find a response? Here's Grealish. Perfect game for him against his former side to make an impact. He hasn't been in his preference, has he, in Pep Guardiola's team? There's been a lot of chopping and changing, and it has been needed. City, 1 win out of 11. It's been their worst start categorically under Pep Guardiola. Both teams are reeling from late defeats. City losing the derby against Manchester United. Amad Diallo with that late dagger. And Grealish, one-on-one against Cash. Good work here by Grealish, stopping and trying to curl that into the top corner. Positive play there from the former Aston Villa player. Jack Grealish will know that every time he gets the ball, he'll get the boos from the Aston Villa faithful. This was positive play from him. He just waits for the challenge from Matty Cash and then looks to just curl that around Boubacar Kamara. Unai Emery had a good run of form going before that loss against Aston Villa. Cash steaming in, and City are through here, and Grealish with a late challenge suffered. But Tielemans comes away with the ball. Here's Duran, lays it off back to Tielemans. Great feet there, looking for the switch of play. McGinn has a lot of space to run at. Looks to curl that towards the far stick where Duran was waiting. And Manuel Akanji does brilliantly there on the stretch. Aston Villa are so dangerous on the break here. Every time they get the ball, this is a beautiful pass there by Yuri Tielemans. Just spreads the play. Duran would have been offside there, I think. His right boot was offside, but Akanji wasn't to know. First 5 minutes or so, it's been all Aston Villa. Incredible stuff, this. Luca Dean on corner duty. The previous corner was cleared off the line, saved rather from the header of Pau Torres. He'll be the target once again. Cross comes in. This time it's headed clear. Aston Villa will look to recycle possession. That's an ambitious pass there to try and find Dina on the stretch. But Unai Emery will be enthused with this start. Stefan Ortega has come in for Edison, has been... Oh, what a save this is. This is by millimeters. That header from Pau Torres. It was stooping header. Just wanted to get that on target. The pace on the cross. Stefan Ortega take a bow there. You can see that from Unai Emery's response. They have come mighty close on 2 occasions. Here's Stones now. In for the injured Ruben Diaz. Another injury blow for Pep to deal with. Portuguese centre-half sidelined for seems like a month now. John Stones more than a capable deputy, but he has found it very hard to get game time this season. Villa are once again with a throw, and City have gone to sleep. Duran tries to take a quick time. First time finish there, trying to catch Ortega off his line. The German keeper very aware of this, and City have had more than their fair share of warnings here. Grealish looks to set Haaland into the channel there. Needs support in the box. Foden's waiting. So is Gundogan, who gets the ball. City have packed that midfield today. Kovacic back in the squad. So is Rico Lewis. Gundogan and Phil Foden playing behind Erling Haaland. Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish providing the width for Man City. Not much pace in the squad, but enough technical ability. Here's Bernardo Silva. Lays it off to Rico Lewis. Might invert from right back, but looks like Akanji will just play as that right-sided centre-half. Nice switch here to Grealish. drawn the foul there from Matty Cash. Needless foul, considering that Grealish was going away from goal. Polish right back up against his former colleague. Yeah, you can see it's unnecessary exuberance more than anything else. Gives Man City the opportunity to put this one into the box. Scored from a short corner or short free kick routine against Man City. De Bruyne. This kicking that took a bit of a deflection and found its way to Guardiola. Josko Guardiola, the second top scorer for Man City behind Erling Haaland. Haaland's got 12 or 13 league goals while Guardiola's 4. Something that City will need to rectify as the season goes on. Right foot of Gundogan, left foot of Foden. 2 options. Get this ball into the box. Haaland, Stones, Akanji, they've got size in the box. It's Foden with a beautifully flighted ball in. It's cleared away. Duran gets the second header. City are trying to keep this ball alive here. Akanji does so. Gives it back to Bernardo Silva. Here's Kovacic. Pep will be very pleased that he has the Croatian midfielder back available after his injury. City are patient on the right-hand side here. Bernardo Silva twisting and teasing, waiting for the opportunity. Akanji with the ball into the box. Pau Torres clears. Good header here. Not able to clear the ball here. Morgan Rogers trying, and Onana snapping into the challenge there. Another needless free kick conceded, this time on Foden. The Belgian centre midfielder just clotting into Foden. This is clumsy more than reckless. They have missed Onana. I think he has spent about 2 or 3 weeks on the sidelines himself. Belgian midfield of Tielemans and Amadou Onana for Aston Villa has been so key, especially for that bright start. No surprises that their bad run of form coincided with that midfield pairing not being available. Gundogan and Foden once again on top of this free kick. Was Foden last time. Might be Gundogan. It's Gundogan with the ball into the box. Harden looks to attack, but Morgan Rogers gets the header away. Should be a corner, and it is. The last touch did come off the Aston Villa player, but Ezri Konsa has trying to get a bit of notice to the referee there that might have been a foul there in the build-up. There was a melee there in the box. Konsa and Stones, by the looks of it, was colliding there. Referee having none of that. Another corner. City is slowly getting the way back into this game here. Via set pieces, though. Nothing from open play to trouble Emi Martinez. It's Gundogan with the corner kick here. Corner comes in, cleared away, doesn't beat the first man. Cash heads that away. Disappointing set piece there. City recycled though. Here's Rico Lewis. Kovacic. City being their patient self here. They know that they can't be crumbling at their first sight of adversity. City progressed the ball down the left-hand side, although Villa have caused them more than their fair share in this early stages. Here's Kovacic with a strike. Straight to the goalkeeper there. 3 goals in the league for Mateo Kovacic. Not the most prolific midfielders. He does score some really good goals. It's going to take something very special to beat Emi Martinez from that distance. Just about 12 minutes on the clock. There's been a lot of action so far. City dominating possession. 75% to 25, but the clear-cut opportunities via open play and set pieces has been courtesy of Aston Villa. John Duran, he'll be kicking himself there. Yes, it was an early chance, just about 20 seconds on the clock. When that chance fell through to him. Header from Pau Torres and a couple of nearly moments for Aston Villa. Here's John Stones. City with some quick combination play at the halfway line. Here's Guardiola to Stones. Here's Rico Lewis. trying to be as compact as possible. Foden with lovely feet there, draws the foul there. Camera not looking to give any amount of time there. It's very interesting to see the wide setup for Aston Villa. Gone with Morgan Rogers and John McGinn, both not traditional wingers. The likes of Leon Bailey. Is Bailey fit and on the bench? Let's just have a look here. They do have Ian Matson, Emil Buendia, Ross Barkley. Yeah, Bailey and Watkins. So good bench here for Aston Villa. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side, twisting and turning and teasing. He's just waited far too long there. Camera coming along, giving support to his right back. That three in midfield, and McGinn and Rogers almost tucking in just makes that midfield very congested for Man City to play through. Exactly, this is excellent work off the ball here from Aston Villa. Ortega took a bit of a chance there. Guardiola manages to keep the ball, and Grealish draws the foul. That's a couple of fouls there now on the Englishman. Cash has to be very, very careful. I think this will be his final warning for sure. Another foul on Grealish, and surely it'll be a yellow card. That was a forceful challenge. Both players coming with pace. Grealish looking to protect the ball. Referee is calming Cash down. I'm pretty sure that's his final warning. No more of those. You can see Grealish just trying to turn away from the challenge. You can see Unai Emery's reaction. He knows that was a clear-cut foul there. He's run out of any grace now from the referee. Here's Stones to Akanji. How does City break this spell here? Nothing's going their way. Against Manchester United, they had the lead. It's looking like they would have bragging rights in the derby. And in a spell of 3 or 4 minutes, it's another foul. Oh, it didn't look like a foul. Cash on Grealish once again. We'll have to keep an eye on that battle. That time Cash coming away with the ball. Camera goes back to Ezri Konza. Unai Emery has preferred that centre-back pairing of Diego Carlos and Pau Torres. Carlos not available, and Konza getting the nod. Here's Tielemans. Oh, that's a brilliant through pass to Morgan Rogers, who's through on goal. He's got support. Lays it off unselfishly to Duran, and it's 1-0 to Aston Villa. That is a beautiful team goal. And it is the Colombian striker who draws first blood. He had the opportunity to score 20 seconds into the game, but this time makes no mistake. Brilliant team play this. Started off with a through pass by Yuri Tielemans, pierces the heart of the Manchester City defense. And then it was Morgan Rogers unselfishly who squares it to John Duran to make it 1-0. It was a composed finish by John Duran, and it justifies the selection back to front from Martinez to Tielemans, through pass to Rogers, who doesn't have the pace but does have the vision to just square it nicely onto the path of John Duran on his left foot, opens his body up, beats Ortega, and gives Aston Villa the lead. Deserved lead for Aston Villa. And my, it's another puzzle. It's another headache for Pep Guardiola to solve. Fully deserved for Aston Villa. How about that for justifying your selection to the boss? Has been Ollie Watkins, who's been leading the line, and Pep looks exasperated on the touchline. He's had his fair share of warnings. City got away with a lot of them early on, but this time, as the bodies warm up, John Duran is ice cold in front of goal. It was 5th versus 7th before kickoff today. 6 p.m. India time kickoff. And what that goal has done now is propelled Aston Villa, as it stands, in 5th, as City slipped to 6th position here. What a turnaround this has been. Here's Grealish now. Ball into the box. It's easily cleared by Konza. And here's Rogers, courtesy that slip from Rico Lewis. Rogers, who's fresh off an assist, tries to wriggle away from the challenge there. Might have even drawn a foul. Brilliant play this from the former Manchester City Academy boy, Morgan Rogers. What a shrewd acquisition he has been for Aston Villa. Come from Middlesbrough. And what a first season of real impact he's having with consistent starts. You can see what players are capable of doing. As it stands, City are 1 win in 12. As you look at the match statistics here, yes, City are dominating the ball, nearly 80% of possession, but in terms of attempts, it's all Aston Villa. 5-2 and really struggling. It's a quickly worked free kick. City caught napping there, and if Luca Dean could have got there first, it made things very interesting, but Ortega switched on. City need to wake themselves up from the slumber. Here's Jack Grealish, who's seen a lot of the ball early on. Kovacic with the spread to Bernardo Silva onto the right-hand side, up against Luca Dean. Dean gets the last touch coming off Bernardo Silva. Nothing going City's way so far. The Aston Villa fans will be loving every minute of this. They've had to weather a bit of a storm there. That 3-0 defeat at Stamford Bridge was a damaging one, but they've bounced back well. And this is the pass by Yuri Tielemans on his left foot, falling over. Really was a complete team goal. Pep could only turn away in disgust there. Brilliant. 20 minutes on the clock. City have to find a way to respond here. Let's have a look at City's bench. It's just been nightmare after nightmare for Pep. Winning 4 in a row is quite the achievement, and you expect that drop-off to happen at some point, but not in this fashion. Teams are looking at Man City to get their licks back here. Kovacic with a rare loose touch, I would say. Good City's bench. Defender Simpson, Walker, Nathan Ake, McAtee, De Bruyne, Doku, and Savinho. So in terms of attacking changes, he's got De Bruyne, Doku, and Savinho to come off the bench. Here's Grealish now. Again, slowing the game down to his pace. Stones. Look at Villa's shape here in their back four. Onana is just slotted in, keeping a close eye there on Foden. See that battle. Kovacic looking to carry the ball there. Just a tap of his ankles there from Kamara. City with another free kick. They've taken it quickly and keeping it short. This is the City MO after all. Here's Kovacic. Kanji having to play wide on that right-hand side, trying to stretch that pitch as much as possible. Grealish is hugging the touchline there on the left-hand side. He gets the ball now looks to drive into space. Looks for the quick 1-2. Here's Kovacic onto the right-hand side. Here's Akanji. Bernardo Silva up against Luca Digne. Oh, he beats him beautifully there, Bernardo Silva, but has to chop in on his left foot. Tries to swing the ball into the box. It's well headed. He manages to clear that very well. City can recycle. Here's John Stones. Foden. Switch of play is on here to Grealish. Well, 23 minutes on the clock. Villa with that 1-0 lead, thoroughly deserved as well. City still trying to pick the lock here. Martinez has had very little to do so far. He did have a hand in the goal, though. His first pass into midfield, into Yuri Tielemans, who played a lovely pass off balance. So Grealish has beaten Cash here. It's Jack Grealish with a strike. Haaland. Well. There was an opportunity there. Not what he intended to do there, Jack Grealish. Whether or not that was a complete mistrike or a deflection, this was a lovely take to beat Cash there. Drifted on the right-hand side. He just cuts across the ball there. And Erling Haaland had a half chance if he managed to get his head to it. First sign that City have really burst into life. Rodgers doing really well to shield away, but that's very poor from Erling Haaland. Just gives the pass he's under pressure, but has to be a bit more crisper with that pass. City once again forced to retreat back into their own half. Unai Emery will be loving this. Absolutely loving this. Can their front foot though? McGinn, Yuri Tielemans, John Duran, all pressing forward. So is Morgan Rodgers. Kamara is playing as that lone 6. He's got Amadou Onana though. Likes to just drop in there and keep an eye on Phil Foden. So this is very fluid from Unai Emery, but off the ball, so well drilled. You can see that every time Gundogan gets the ball, Yuri Tielemans will have his radar up. It's almost like they're going man to man here. Stones takes his time, spreads the play. Here's Grealish. On the stretch, keeps it back. Here's Kovacic. Rico Lewis. City have to respond here. At least just trouble Emiliano Martinez. Probing, they're patient, but Villa are so dangerous on the break, and City just about manage to get out of that situation here. See the stats there of passes in the final third. It's 49 to Man City to Aston Villa's 4. Make that 50. Here's Grealish. All those stats count to absolutely nothing. It shows that Villa are happy to just allow City the ball here. And these areas where Haaland is forced to come deeper, just outside the box, now takes a central location. The switch of play is on. Grealish up against Cash, slows it down. Here's Guardiola, first time ball into the box. Very good defending there by Pau Torres. He has massively improved in the air with this stint in the Premier League. That was one of his weaknesses coming in. Well, alleged weaknesses coming in from Villarreal. Really is accomplished in the air, and we know about his ball playing abilities. He's been the cornerstone. He's been the turning point for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. What a shrewd acquisition. That's a nice pass there by Stones, looking to break the lines there, but Gundogan can't squeeze the pass to Erling Haaland. Good goalkeeping there by Martinez, sensing the danger and quickly off his line. Villa will know that this will be a long afternoon for them. It's a risky pass. They've given it away, but Onana can sweep up. Here's Haaland, looks to lay it off. Again, the layoff is not crisp enough. City forced back. Here's Guardiola. Grealish with the take on the chest. Again, a couple of fancy footworks. The passing is just not crisp here from City. They're having to retreat rather than pop them with one or two touches. Grealish, the latest offender. And City forced back again. Brilliant work off the ball here from Aston Villa. Nearing the 30-minute mark, Martinez has barely broke any sweat. City, however, will remain patient. It is the Guardiola hallmark. At some point, might need to switch things up here. We saw that with Haaland and Gundogan both running into the box. The pass wasn't met, and it's back to the goalkeeper. City will start once again. Here's Stones to Akanji. 3 centre halves, no fullbacks. This is very much an all defense / all attack lineup. This is a beautiful switch there by Bernardo Silva. Grealish will do very well to keep it in. He does, but he lets go of the ball, and Cash can now break. He's got a lot of space. Villa have played this very well from back to front. Sumptuous football this, and now taking their time. It's the first time really that they've had any sort of sustained possession. And Tielemans and Onana just keeping the ball within themselves. City with the press here. Can Villa play through them once again? Here's Pau Torres. Again, the run is being made on the left-hand side. It's Digne this time. But that header against Akanji. There's only one winner there, but the offside flag has been raised. Saw Dean making that run from really deep. Pau Torres just a fraction too late before releasing the pass. Here's Grealish. And City might need to try from the other end. So far, Cash has had very little problems dealing with Grealish. Here he is. Now another opportunity to take Cash on. Cash is on a tightrope here. Grealish goes on the outside. It's a left-footed ball in, headed away once again by Pau Torres. It's the third or fourth times we've said that, and Torres had an opportunity with that stooping header early on to give Aston Villa the lead. Two brilliant Stefan Ortega saves that kept it 0-0. Was John Duran with the goal. Really good team goal. Here's Akanji now. Bernardo Silva forced to go back. Nico Lewis to John Stones. Looks to fizz that in. Amadou Onana rather. At the back of Gundogan on that occasion. You can see Phil Foden has just switched sides here. I think Camara will now keep a watchful eye on the English number 10. You can see there, Foden had run away from Camara. Has to keep an eye out on him. Here's Foden on that left-hand side now. Grealish drifting in centrally. So that's something that we might see the rest of the half. Highly doubted, because Pep Guardiola very rarely changes his in-game plans, especially in the first half. Here's Kovacic, hurried and harried, and Tielemans pinches the ball. Duran lays it off to Rodgers. He's wriggled away beautifully out of the tight corner, but the pass was central. He decides to reverse it on the left-hand side. Would have been offside, but once again, Aston Villa wriggling out of very tight space. Again, those rondos in training paying dividends. City are vulnerable on the break. Grealish looks to release the pass to Foden on the stretch. Can't find Haaland. Aston Villa easily clear the way. And now Amadou Onana just opens his leg up. Look at this for powerful running here from the Belgian. Kanji for support, forced to go back. But first time really we saw Onana breaking from deep. Seen his running power and ball carrying abilities there. Didn't have the pace though to take Akanji on, and full credit to the Swiss centre-half. Again, Villa trying to play through City's midfield. Here's Rodgers. Oh, lovely dummy to completely sell Gundogan, and threads in a brilliant pass. Duran is forced wide. Tries to go back, and good defending there by Josko Guardiola. Again, it's such intelligent play here from Aston Villa. Always seem to be picking up the right passes here. This is elite coaching and great decision-making. Again, the camera pans off to Jack Grealish, and look at Pep Guardiola there. City have not responded here since going a goal down. It's Aston Villa, rather, who have looked threatening on the break. Here's Rico Lewis, and this is a sight that Villa, rather, will be very happy to see. Erling Haaland is at the halfway line here, trying to get himself involved in the build-up. He's had no joy whatsoever so far. Only 35 minutes on the clock. Once again, City are being harried there. Kamara and Tielemans snapping into the challenge. Foden switches the play onto the left-hand side to Grealish. No surprises that he's up against Cash. Again, forced to go back there. Not driving at Cash there. Yes, he doesn't have the pace, but he has to show some sort of acceleration. Very safe in his passing. But here's Foden looking to go for a lovely give and go. What a save that is from Martinez. And it's the first time really that we have seen that combination play by City in the box. This time it's the two Englishmen combining. Great feat here by Phil Foden. Just turns it on, gets the 1-2 with Rico Lewis and just looks to shape that into the far corner first time. And Martinez with his first meaningful save in the first half. Didn't have the pace there to really trouble him. Was going for the placement rather than pace. Good ball in by Gundogan has been cleared away. There'll be another corner. City looking to ramp things up in the final 10 minutes of the first half. Aston Villa have to be diligent here. Corners and set pieces have been racked up here by Man City. They take it short. Gundogan, edge of the box to Grealish. Oh, it's a poor touch there by Jack Grealish. And Aston Villa on the break here. It's 3-on-2. McGinn has the ball, has plenty of options, looks for the reverse, and it's very well defended by Josko Guardiola. Good defending there, but he's been pushed away off the ball. Duran completely dispossesses Gundogan on that occasion. City once again, when having to run back towards their goal, look really sluggish. It was Guardiola who really showed his pace there, though. Again, another half chance there for Aston Villa. Lovely layoff there by Rogers to Kamara. Back to Onana. On the stretch there. Threads the line. Here's Tielemans, been dispossessed. Foden rides the challenge to Grealish, and that's a foul there by Cash on Grealish, and I think the yellow card will be brandished here. No surprises there. Referee losing his patience there. No more, says the referee, and it's a clear foul there by Matty Cash. Again, needless there, considering the area of the pitch that he was at, but that battle now will be very, very crucial going forward. Will Grealish start taking Cash on a lot more? He has been conservative in his approach there, the left winger. But now with that yellow light, the yellow card on Cash, let's see that Grealish be a bit more aggressive. Lovely turn there by McGinn. Gives it go. It's a beautiful passage of play. Can't thread the needle there by Tielemans. Could have been a sensational pass to Matty Cash, who had broke that right-hand side, showing his adventurous nature for the first time really in this first half. Here's Foden. Again, lovely switch of play to Grealish. Instant control up against Cash. It's Grealish with the strike, but it's tame, it's harmless, and it's straight into the hands of Emi Martinez. There's better there from Grealish. Not looking to cut back in and lay it off rather than take responsibilities himself. You can see Pep absolutely yelling from the sidelines towards Grealish. I think he wants him to be hugging that touchline. Pau Torres, caught in a cul-de-sac there, decides to just concede the throw-in. Heading towards the last 7 minutes of the first half, Aston Villa, courtesy of the John Duran goal, lead here at Villa Park. As it stands, they'll leapfrog City in the standings there as Foden gets dispossessed. There's McGinn, sides against carrying it, goes back, and Villa can just pause and just take their time here. They've exuded a lot of energy in this first half. Oh, that's a heavy touch there by Pau Torres, and on the stretch gets the ball and Haaland. But Villa managed to wriggle out of there. Here's McGinn, goes for that expansive switch to Morgan Rogers, and Rico Lewis on the stretch gets something on it, but it's Villa on the attack here. Here's Rogers. He's got Dean for support on the overlap. Look at Dean, cuts it across. Again, good defending there by Rico Lewis. Two crucial moments there in a defensive capacity there by the English midfielder Rico Lewis. Aston Villa showing real capacity going forward on the break. Unai Emery knows that there has been a couple of opportunities in this first half to really open up a bit of a cushion against Man City. 1-0, ever comfortable against the reigning defending champions. Throw in here, Dean wipes the ball off and flings that into the box. Lewis clears. Camara recovers. Here's Tielemans. Back to Digne. Fakes the cross. And Rico Lewis does very well. Foden picks his head up. He's immediately swarmed here. Brilliant challenge by Yuri Tielemans. The two number 8s going into a full-blooded challenge there. Tielemans on Kovacic. Heading to the final 5 minutes of the it's been a rather entertaining first half. Aston Villa will be more than happy to take this lead into half-time. Easier said than done, though. Here's Stones. These options. Again, these runners is all a bit static here from Man City. Grealish and Bernardo Silva hugging the touchline. Bernardo Silva has got 3 or 4 meaningful touches, really. They favoured the left-hand side. Grealish has got no change from Matty Cash. Here's Phil Foden in the central area. There's no space whatsoever. Really have packed the midfield there. Here's Haaland, who slips it through to Phil Foden. There's no runner there as he looks to attempt another through pass. And a back pass there. Torres showing real composure. City almost took to chase their own shadows. Good play there from Phil Foden. Just trying to inject a bit more electricity in that central area. It's really compact though. 1-2 with Haaland and Foden. It's good defending though by Pau Torres. Gets his foot in and takes the ball away from Foden. How they're going to try and combat that lack of space in the central area. They try to switch the play to the left-hand side as many times that I can remember in this first half. They might see the likes of Jeremy Doku being introduced in the second half, considering Matty Cash is on that yellow card. Will Unai Emery then respond? What a switch of play that is. Onto the left-hand side. Dean collects immaculately there. Dean gets the ball back. Tries to find Morgan Rogers. Rico Lewis. Last couple of minutes have shown real defensive acumen here. Not just in terms of reading abilities, but also snapping into the challenge, getting those interception and recoveries. He's worked tirelessly in this first half. Hasn't had the chance to really influence the game going forward. He's been really disciplined here. Here's Gundogan, allowed to turn, and Guardiola can just open his legs up here and really run through a lot of space down the central side. And now to Grealish, up against Cash. Players swarm in. There's Guardiola with the header. And that was the opportunity, really, from open play that City were looking for. And it's Josko Guardiola who started the move off with a lung-bursting run forward, laid it off to Grealish, and then made his way into the box. Grealish, a couple of touches, floating the ball into the box. And Guardiola, considering that he was unmarked, had the chance then, just need to guide that on target. And that was the opportunity that City were looking for, just to draw level before half-time. First real scare there for Aston Villa. It shouldn't come of any surprise that it is Josko Guardiola. 4 goals in the Premier League for him. in the previous game against Manchester United from a header. He was, so I think against Everton, where he had a magnificent header. Shows that he's so capable with his goal scoring, not just with his feet, but his head as well. He is a complete player in that Guardiola system. There's Pau Torres, both centre halves now in City territory. This is good here for Unai Emery as we head towards the final minute of a very intriguing first half here. City have to change the game. They'll have to throw absolutely everything here. Earlier the talk was about City trying to find themselves in that title talk, but the current form and run suggest that they have a fight on their hands, the top 4 spots. How many of us had that on our bingo cards in 2024? As the year comes to a close, as Bernardo Silva has been completely mugged off possession. It was 3-on-1 there, and Rodgers just moves away the challenge. And look at this, Aston Villa showing real pace and power in this attack. They've got bodies forward. Tielemans switches on his left foot to John McGinn, who's had to chop in on his left foot, takes the momentum away, but that pass to Rodgers is good. Here's Morgan Rodgers. It's well blocked by Akanji. Recovery by Amadou Onana, and he dwells on the ball, and Erling Haaland shows good defensive appetite there. Comes a long way to take the ball off. Amadou Onana was looking to pull the trigger from about 30 yards. City get the foul as Unai Emery continues to bark instructions as we head towards the final 30 seconds of stoppage time here. Just 1 minute of added on time. This half has really flown by. Really has been an enjoyable watch here. Here's Stones. Just have time for one last attack, but it has to be now. Here's Kovacic. Again, takes his time. There's no option for a pass. Referee might just blow his whistle here. Grealish just has to take on Cash, has no success. And the referee does blow the halftime whistle. No time for City. Pose one last question in that first half. And it's Aston Villa who take a deserved lead into halftime. As there's a bit of a brouhaha here. Emi Martinez, a no-needler who loves to go into the opposition, especially when his team are on top here. Emi Martinez and Jack Grealish, Erling Haaland, all involved there. But it's Aston Villa with that 1-0 lead at halftime, courtesy of that man on the screen, the number 9, the Colombian striker, John Duran, who continues his goal-scoring touch, generally off the bench, now rewarded with the start and has the opener. And as it stands, it is what separates the two teams, as Aston Villa will look to protect the slender advantage going into the second half, as Man City look to avoid this dreadful run here. As it stands, Aston Villa in 5th and Man City in 6th. Brilliant stuff this as we head towards half-time. Have a look at the stats here. Let's see a foot mob. Aston Villa with just 33% possession. Up at XG, total shots, 6 each. Aston Villa, 4 shots on target to City's 3. In terms of momentum, field tilt, and all that, I'm not a big fan of the stats. It's been all Man City, but full credit to Aston Villa. At 4 corners to 3, Aston Villa, 2 big chances, 1 big chance each missed by the two teams. One, that big chance for Guardiola towards the end of the half. City completing 297 passes. See that, the fouls committed, that really sticks out. 10 fouls committed by Aston Villa to just 1 by Man City. That's Aston Villa playing City at their own game. We know how City like to play. And when they don't have the ball or they're caught on the cold, they make those tactical fouls deep in their own half. And Aston Villa give City a piece of their own medicine there as we head towards half-time break here. Saturday has got a lot of games scheduled here. We'll be doing the watch-along for the 11 p.m. game between Crystal Palace and the Arsenal. They had met midweek in a very entertaining Carabao Cup quarter-final tie. Gabriel Jesus hat-trick, giving Arsenal a 3-2 win against Crystal Palace. Mateta had given them the lead in 3 minutes, and it was Eddie Nketiah, the consolation goal. See the next game kick-off. Brentford taking on Nottingham Forest, Ipswich against Newcastle, and West Ham taking on Brighton. Brighton suffering that shock defeat. They've been a very good watch. That loss against Crystal Palace came out of the blue at home as well. So Crystal Palace coming into form here, and Arsenal back-to-back draws against Fulham and Everton. So lots to do here in terms of coverage. And tomorrow, of course, Everton taking on Chelsea. No watch along there. Can't do a watch along when Chelsea play. I'll do that maybe as time goes on, but when Chelsea play, I just really enjoy, and I'm so focused and locked in when Chelsea play. At the same time, Fulham play Southampton, Leicester play Wolves, and Manchester United take on Bournemouth fresh off the derby victory. Bournemouth are no pushovers. They have been absolutely sensational under Iraola this season. And then the 10 p.m. kickoff, Spurs versus Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That game, I'll be doing a watch along for sure. That'll be a cracker of a game. United won't have it easy against Bournemouth. As it stands, Bournemouth will be in 7th position, 2 points behind Man City. So a win against Manchester United will take Bournemouth ahead of Man City. And City will be languishing in 7th position after match week 17. Incredible scenes here. And even further, considering Fulham and Brighton are yet to play, City cannot relax here. They'll have to find a victory at some point, some way or time. Everybody's enjoying their downfall, me included. But from Pep's point of view and his standpoint, something's got to give, something's got to change here. We are about 3 or 4 minutes away from start of the second half. So you look at the only real clear-cut opportunity that City had on the left-hand side was Grealish. It's been disappointing against Cash, but that was the first real chance that he could really float in a dangerous ball. He really lacked presence and any sort of threat in the box. How many touches as Erling Haaland had? Be very surprised if it's more than 10. Let's have a look here. He's had 6 out of 9 accurate passes. He's had 11 touches. He's had no shots, no chances created, nada. He's got a lot to do in the second half. It's time he steps up. He had a really good flourish early on. Scored 10 or 12 goals, real quick time. Since then, it really has dried up. His overall play is not really helping City. Can you see 11 touches when you have about 70% of the ball? Shows that everybody else is playing except you. So you're just running around, trying to come short, build up. Not easy. Now, for those who are watching, how's your gym week or exercise week been so far? Saturday 4 p.m. was a perfect time to go to the gym today. It was empty. It's only the serious players who come at that time. Today's leg day was intense though. I had written it down. I didn't want to have someone told me that I need to start documenting my lifts and movements. See that it is today was what 4 sets of squats, 20 kgs. Yeah, 4 sets of squats, 3 sets of reverse hamstring curls. Squats I like to do progressive overload like 20, 30 kilos, 40 kilos, and then 50. Like 20 and 30, I do like 10 reps each. Then 40 becomes 8, and then 50 is 6 reps. But focus obviously on full range of motion and hypertrophy, like deep squats, not those half squats just to like slag off weights. And yeah, then there was 3 sets of leg extensions, 3 sets of seated calf raise, 3 sets of standing calf raise, then just a bit of rest and rest sets in between, a bit of shoulders, like reverse delts and face pulls. Successful week at the gym. Always a nice thing to do. But yeah, in terms of leg day, something that I always neglected in my 20s. I never really focused on it because I never used to get gains. So I thought, what's the point? But I think it was Tom Platz, known as the Quad Father. I think I used to see a lot of his shots. I mean, it's funny how the algorithm works, right? When you start working out, then you start looking at forms and techniques and bodybuilding, and then you see the likes of Tom Platz, who is known as the Quad Father, who just talks about squats so passionately that it hooked me on. And since then, I look forward to leg days, man. Yes, there's slow and steady growth to say the least, but that mindset really is impressive. Like, just you got to do squats. It's hard. Nobody likes it. That's the only way to do it, though. And once you drill that into your head, it becomes much easier. You get a lot of clarity of thought. So yeah, shout out Tom Platz, the Quad Father. Yeah, in terms of second half, now for Man City, I know that Pep Guardiola is not someone who likes to make swift changes. Very rarely you see someone being taken off like straight away into the second half. Maybe you see somebody who drops an absolute stinker. He does that, but I think he might just make a change. I don't know, maybe as a statement, maybe more than anything else, if it's not tactical, because City is something in terms of just to bring them out of their funk. Just to see maybe McAtee, for example, if he comes on, just give some different solution. It's mean, can almost predict the 3 substitutions. De Bruyne, we know, will come on at some point. Maybe he is the hope and savior. Savio might come on at some point. Doku surely has to come on. Yeah, other than that, City's bench looks a bit bare. They've got a whole lot of defenders. It's not something that they need right now. A bit of pace, because on the right-hand side, Walker's had a very tough time. Kanji, some more, I would say, a form defender going into this. As into the second half, Villa Park will be bouncing in that second half. As we look at the table here, Liverpool on top, 15 games played, 36 points. Chelsea in second. We'll have a close eye before to play Everton before that, and then we can watch Liverpool take on Spurs in that 10 p.m. kickoff India time. Christmas period is going to be so busy, isn't it? Games are going to be coming thick and fast. We're all but set for the start of the second half. City look to come out early. Like the entrance towards the ground here for Villa. It's modern looking. Really have shown that they have that appetite, will to really push on as a club. Have a huge history. Have a European trophy. Now back in the Champions League now this season. They've done really well, qualified very swiftly. That victory away against RB Leipzig, very, very impressive. Pep and City are out here. The start of the second half. Like I said, I don't think any changes will be made here. I think Guardiola will have his subs ready to go as quickly as possible. Maybe he gives 5 minutes before he decides to make a change. He has a very sullen face, to say the least. By far his most difficult time as a manager. And there is the difference maker as it stands, John Duran. Entrusted with the start, has the goal, and we're talking about halftime substitutions. And I spoke about Walker for Akanji. It's not quite Walker for Akanji, but it's John Stones who has been withdrawn, and it is Kyle Walker who will come in. He takes the captain's armband from Gundogan, was it? And it will see Akanji now playing as the center of the back three, and Kyle Walker will go to the right. And disappointing for John Stones, or whether or not maybe just 45 minutes was all there was. But I think this was tactical, because in that central area, John Stones doesn't have that pace. And Villa have broken the goal as well, came from that central area. But we're all but set for the start of the second half here, as it's Tielemans who gets things up and running. Aston Villa kicking things off from right to left with that 1-0 lead, courtesy of John Duran. Now looking to protect and maybe even add to the lead. Here's Konza. Can fully expect City to come out flying in the second half. Lovely touch there by Rico Lewis. Let's see him playing as left back or inverting from left back, as Guardiola and Kanji might just play as two centre halves. Guardiola has so many attributes going forward that very hard to curtail him and keep him back. Be up to the forward players, though, to make that difference. Here's Bernardo Silva, who had a very quiet first half, trying to make an impact. We might see a lot more of the attacks coming down the right-hand side in this half. First half, we saw Grealish against Cash on multiple occasions. Lovely layoff there by Harden. He looks to get it back there from Rico Lewis, and he breaks out beautifully there. Yuri Tielemans doesn't have the pace, but he'll invite the contact there from Rico Lewis. He'll surely get a yellow card for that. Yet another City player cautioned. That is Rico Lewis. It's clever there from Yuri Tielemans, first to get away from the challenge and just to stop there to invite the challenge from Rico Lewis, who bites there on that occasion. Yep, it's a clear foul there. Yellow card for Rico Lewis. Now has to be very, very careful. He's making challenges. Villa look to break quickly. Morgan Rogers doing so well there. He's really battled hard and kept the ball. Twinkle toes and real power in the upper body. Brilliant stuff. Morgan Rogers. He's played most of the season as a number 10 in this game where you're not expected to dominate the ball. Gives you the option on that left-hand side. Works tremendously hard as well. Here's Konsa to Pau Torres. Again, both centre halves playing at the halfway line. Are forced to retreat. They'll calmly play out the back here. City almost putting on the full press here. It's not quite man-to-man. Might force Martinez to go long, and he does just that. Dina does very well to keep the ball, and so does Morgan Rogers. Real composure, and just like that, a line-breaking pass. Yes, Tielemans, great feet there. Camera on the right-hand side. McGinn has got a lot of pace and a lot of space to exploit. It's McGinn with the reverse. Can he make it 2-0? But the shot aside. It is Matty Cash who made the lung-bursting run from right back, and Aston Villa on the break. Once again, electric. They play out the back brilliantly. Once again, it's Tielemans, the chief orchestrator. Camera just feeds it to McGinn, who gives the reverse to Matty Cash. He didn't have the option to cut it back, but he had to trouble Ortega there. Instead, it is the side netting, and yet another grimace on the face of Unai Emery. Yet another early warning sign here for Manchester City. They were caught cold early on in that first half. I remember that John Duran was through on goal 20 seconds into the match. This time it's Matty Cash who broke free of Jack Grealish. Grealish will need to put on a defensive shift if they decide to act or attack rather down that right-hand side. Here's Akanji. Now center off that back three. See Guardiola and Rico Lewis temporarily switching positions. Again, the passing not crisp. Foden having to retrieve. Walker goes for the switch. Inviting ball, but Cash very well intercepts it. Again, shows good composure. Villa look to play out the back. Tielemans again, lovely pass. Back to Cash. Cash decides to slow things down here. Can City have not come flying out as expected? It is Aston Villa have been more threatening. So we head towards 5 minutes into the second half. Here's Rogers. Again, Onana is not really broken out of his half too often in this match so far. Oh, lovely defense splitting pass there. Oh, it's brilliant this from Aston Villa. It's a 2-on-1 situation. It's John Duran to make it 2-0, but the offside flag comes to City's rescue. Again, they have cut City like a hot knife through butter through the central areas. Oh, it's very close. Maybe Walker's playing him onside there. I think he might just be off. It's quickly resolved. They get on with it. And yet another massive warning sign here for Manchester City. They're getting run ragged here. And Yuri Tielemans in the middle of the park has been sensational. Just orchestrates everything. 1-2 touch. So accurate, threads the eye of the needle pass. Such a shrewd acquisition. Oh, lovely pass there from Bernardo Silva, who feeds it to Phil Foden, who looks to curl that towards the top corner. First real shot in anger here from Phil Foden. That's a clever pass, though, by Bernardo Silva. Nice reverse to Phil Foden on that right-hand side. Finds his way towards that central area. First real warning sign there for Aston Villa. Look to play out the back. Here's Pau Torres. I decide to go long here. Duran can't win the duel, and Guardiola just sweeps up. Here's Bernardo Silva. Seeing a lot more of the ball in the second half. Was a passenger really in that first. Now looking to just influence the game a lot more. Know about his technical qualities and abilities. Here's Pau Torres. Amadou Onana on the stretch. Pops it off to Morgan Rogers. Again, it's very fluid, very fluent this from Aston Villa. And decide to err on the side of caution there. Here's Martinez. Under a bit of pressure, invites the challenge. Konza, they go long again. What a run this is from Matty Cash, but Josko Guardiola recovers with time to spare there. Here's Rico Lewis. Again, at what point does Pep Guardiola pull the trigger on the substitution? The obvious one is Kevin De Bruyne and even Jeremy Doku. Can't let the game drift for too long here. Know that Villa have options on the bench. It's a needless foul there by Amadou Onana on Phil Foden. Just a challenge, just to show that I'm here, you know. He's kept a watchful eye on Foden, rather. Onana. Let's have a look at the challenge there. Oh, it's a bit nasty. Accidental. Just steps on him on the side of his boot. It's a bit of his ankle as well. Those who've played football know how much damage the ankle takes just by wear and tear of a game, yet alone challenges and studs and any sort of impact or contact. Oh, brilliant play this from Rico Lewis. Rides 3 or 4 challenges, twinkle-footed. He wins the foul. Rico Lewis was shown defensive capabilities in this match so far. First time really showing his qualities on the ball. And towards that 10-minute mark in the second half. Take it short once again. Is Kovacic. Foden. Well watched there by Onana. Goes for the switch. And it's Grealish for the first time in the second half. Looking to run at Cash. Looks to thread the ball there, and it's very easily defended. As Riconsa just comes across. Puts his body there, and it'll just be a goal kick for Aston Villa. Well, Aston Villa have had 2 clear-cut opportunities in the second half. You can see the line there. John Duran is offside. Maybe he's just leaning forward. But when he was through on goal, there was no real doubt that he would bury that. His ball striking really is insane. He's got so many long-range goals that when he's bearing down on goal, you almost expect the keeper to have no chance there. Here's Rogers with a clever reverse to Duran, who's run the channel. Tremendous challenge there from Manuel Akanji. I think Duran has come out worse there. And just holding his ankle. Akanji had to get there first. Full credit to him. He took out ball and the player in one swift motion. And just halting Duran's progress. Not making too much contact on him. Akanji is holding his right shoulder there. Last thing Pep wants is to make a substitution. Having made a change in the backline already, John Stones was the halftime subbed off. This is not something that is ideal. This was the goal though. Morgan Rogers was slipped through on goal by Yuri Tielemans. And John Duran just opening his body to just side foot home. What stands to be the winner at this time, but plenty of time still to go, about 40 minutes for Aston Villa to navigate. Lengthy stoppage, oh. They will take their time with Manuel Akanji. Looks like he might be okay to go, which is great news for Man City, Pep, and the player. They are stretched thin at the back, though. They have Nathan Ake, but the balance really will be affected if Akanji has to come off. Akanji is comfortable playing either as a wide centre half or in the centre. Likes of Guardiola and Nathan Ake are left-sided centre halves. Much more comfortable defending those spaces and those channels. Haaland looks to win his header, but he heads it straight to John McGinn. Looks to turn away from Guardiola. It's the charge of Gundogan. Keeps the ball well. Nana playing nice 1-2 here with Yuri Tielemans. Yes, Torres now having a lot of space and time. His pass has to go short with Morgan Rogers. Tamara. Tielemans almost number 10 here, trying to give some support. Oh, brilliant one-touch pass there, but Nana's pass can't find either Morgan Rogers or Luca Dina on that occasion. Can't ask him where to be. They pop the ball around, 1-2 touch. Brilliant. City will have to come themselves touch fortunate there because that had worked out better. Another chance and inroads. We touched about it. Right under pressure. Duran does so well to get something on, but City will clear. Oh, there's so much pressure there. Guardiola loses out. It's just these moments just creates a bit of anxiety back on the side. The last thing City can afford is to go 2-0 down early in the stage, but 2-0 at this stage, I think game over, game set and match. Having more of the ball in the second half, 57 to 43 the percentage. Morgan Rogers right in the foul, Duran holding off the challenge. Akanji, lovely turn there and finds Dina. Here's Dina, the French left back. Gives it to Nana. It's a 1-2. Dina finds Rogers. Doesn't go for the overlap. Instead, finds Duran. Get 1-2. Comes to make it 2-0. Just wide. Oh, he just looks to smash that head to the near post. Go low and hard. Yeah, this is just brilliant stuff. This Aston Villa. Rogers at the heart of everything doing. That little flick from Duran was good. Gives it back to Rogers. I think it's to the post that just saved City on that occasion. Yet another chance. For Aston Villa this time. And with the assist in the first half, maybe doubling their advantage. Aston Villa full value for the points here. City just not able to threaten. Look, they have an extra player on the edge here. Just the speed and decisiveness. Runner has to come on as quickly as possible. City looking to rescue anything from this game. Here's Grealish up against Cash, who's on the yellow card. Finds Lewis. Kovacic. And it's slow, it's patient. Guardiola. To Lewis. And one mid-carries back into the defensive shape. He's trying to move this from side to side, but forced backwards. Again, Villa's work off the ball, brilliant, forcing City to play long. They do exactly that. Gundogan was never going to get there. He was sandwiched, and Villa can play out here. It's Tielemans forced to go back. Oh, what a Pass from Yuri Tielemans. Just opens it up on the left-hand side for Luca Arena. And here's Onana. I think Dina was fouled on that occasion, but referee had to play on. Here's Kamara, who completely sells Haaland. Haaland is frustrated and looms some figure. Torres is now enjoying a lot more freedom going forward. He's well into the City half with a pass there from Onana. Right idea to try and find Rodgers. He's on the stretch there. Pressure on Kandi does well. Grealish loses out. Bernardo Silva rather. Trying to find the ball to the box. Onana recovers under pressure. Oh, brilliant skill there. Looks to just slip the ball in. Yuri Tielemans. Right idea, just execution of that. It was 60 minutes on the clock and City had to threaten Martinez for Aston Villa. Emery is completely done none here on Pep and Man City. 1-0 could have been 2, could have been 3, and that would not have flattered Aston Villa. Brilliant from Onana, reads that like a book and sends Aston Villa forward. Again, just taking the pace off the attack here, just wanting City to just chase shadows and to beat them at their own game here. Lovely one-touch passing here for Aston Villa, growing in confidence as this game goes on. Samra really has shown that midfield with Tielemans and Onana. They'll get the headlines like they always do, but Boubacar Kamara can be very pleased with this performance here. The extra body in midfield making it so difficult for Foden and Duran to find anything in terms of creativity or productivity. Bernardo Silva makes it off Tielemans, and here's Kovacic. He's got Grealish on the left-hand side, uses them immediately. Grealish up against Cash. As Jack Grealish floats the ball towards the far stick, but it's harmlessly towards the side netting. That's very poor there from Jack Grealish. Trying to get himself into the game in the second half. Saw a lot of it in the first. In the second, it's been very little from him, and Pep looks concerned. He's searching for answers. He has to dip into his bench at some point here. Very surprised that he hasn't done so. He's brought on Kyle Walker, but not chasing the game, and was a defender really needed. You can see the touches in the opposition box fully in favor of Man City. And what a run this is from Morgan Rodgers, shoving a couple of challenges, finds McGinn. He's got Tielemans on the overlap. It's McGinn. It's just opened up for him. Rodgers on his left foot to make it 2-0. Morgan Rodgers does the Cole Palmer celebration to make it 2-0 to Aston Villa. The chief creator in the first half, now the goal scorer in the second. Had the opportunity early in the second half to make it 2-0. This time, makes no mistake, just shifts it onto his left foot and a low and powerful drive past Stefan Ortega to make it 2-0 to Aston Villa, and Manchester City in all sorts of trouble here. John Duran and Morgan Rodgers pose for a photograph, and it is the two goal scorers who have created all sorts of trouble here for Man City. Once again, it's back to front. Morgan Rodgers, the chief creator, just drives the ball in the central areas, then lays it off to John McGinn. McGinn, who looked like he was shaped it to shoot, just finds Rodgers, who gets away from Kyle Walker and sweeps the ball with his left foot past Stefan Ortega to make it 2-0. 65 minutes on the clock. It's Aston Villa 2 and it's Man City 0. And Aston Villa fully deserve this. And Man City staring down the barrel of yet another defeat. As it stands, it's going to be 1 in 12 for Manchester City. Look what it means to Unai Emery. He's seen his side squander many opportunities to make it 2-0. This time, Morgan Rodgers makes no mistake. The City faces tell you everything you need to know here. Pep Guardiola cannot believe it. Surely it's time for Pep to go to his bench. He's had nothing in terms of an attacking force. I see a few warming up, but no one really in a hurry to come on. Here's Foden. Brilliant challenge there from Unai on the slide. Clever pass there, but finds neither Foden nor Haaland on that occasion. Duran's hold-up play really has been a breath of fresh air compared to Erling Haaland. So aggressive when he has the ball, and Morgan Rogers, twinkle toes, dancing past Man City. He is such a menace when he drives into those central spaces and he wins the foul. He is just sublime, this Morgan Rogers. Remember him against Arsenal early on in the season. It was at Villa Park. It was the first time really that I saw Morgan Rogers in a live game. He really stood out. What a player he is. He's got such a bright future ahead of him. Forget about the future. Just watch him play in the present, in the now. What a gem Aston Villa have scouted and invested in, not just in terms of the outlay and the money, also the time given there. Just give him the confidence and the consistent run of games. It shows you what a player he is. Sacrificed in this game today, playing on that left-hand side for more midfield security with Tielemans, Kamara, and Amadou Onana. Decide to take it quickly. City caught napping here. Foden makes the challenge. Ask the question though, as we heading towards the final 20 minutes of this match. City making their first attacking substitution, and it seems to be just the one that's coming on, and it is Savinho rather, who will be coming on. He's got about 22 minutes and change. Try and make some impact here. It's all Aston Villa though. They've managed to clear that away. Rogers, the touch just gets away from him, and Bernardo Silva just throws that ball away. But just about managed to clear away the danger, and I think now City will make the change. Luca Digne, the French left back for Aston Villa, has kept Ian Motm on the bench. Villa had spent about £38 million on the Chelsea left back, but he has seen very little game time. Dutch young left back Ian Motm, but his time will come as the season goes on. Lovely turn this from John McGinn. Such a busy player, but real quality. So sharp. Here's Rogers, now operating on that left-hand side half space. City players finding it very difficult to pick him out here. It's Digne who's providing the width on the left-hand side, as Morgan Rogers now threatening in the central areas. Here he is. The touch just gets away from him, and Guardiola on the stretch. It was Bernardo Silva rather who had to make sure that tried to put Rogers off. Morgan Rogers is creating real havoc here for City. Now a more central threat is Bernardo Silva, who had to track the run, and he did really well there. The Portuguese. City still slow and sluggish in their build-up. Here's Kovacic. He has an opportunity to go towards the wings. Now it does reach Grealish, whose number might be up. Kovacic, lovely footwork to escape a couple of challenges, but his forward pass is easily intercepted, but the ball is given away, and Villa win the ball back and just hack that clear, courtesy of John Duran. To the final 20 minutes as it stands. Man City in a perilous position here. Lovely switch there by Kanji to Jack Grealish. Looks for the threaded pass and very easily intercepted. Another chance here for Grealish up against Cash. Plays that into midfield to Rico Lewis. Here's Kovacic. And the switch is on here to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Instead, they played back centrally. City with no answers to try and pick the lock. Is this the moment here? Phil Foden with the strike and a deflection, and it's an easy grab. A couple of shots in anger there for Phil Foden. Hasn't really made that impact in that number 10 role. Comfortable save there for Emi Martinez, who's had very little to do in this match so far. Ideal scenario this for Aston Villa and Unai Emery. Good header there by John Duran, but the second ball on by Rico Lewis. Savio's been waiting for his time here. Try and come on. Again, Pep very restrained, very reserved with the substitutions. He was proactive in half-time, but chasing the game just made that one defensive substitution. Here's Foden, tries to lay it off to Haaland, has another bite at the cherry here. Great challenge there by Camara. And John Duran gets there first. Clearly a foul? Surely a foul, and it is. He'd be very, very lucky to avoid a yellow card there, Kovacic. John Duran had got there first, and the substitution being ready there. It's an attacking one. Gundogan being withdrawn. Might see Grealish in that central area as Savinho rather, comes in to replace the German midfielder. Look, some of my friends here really in awe of Morgan Rogers. I think he has been one of the contenders for man of the match, surely. I mean, goal and an assist, you can't really do more than that, but just his overall play, huge shout out as well to the likes of Onana and Tielemans. The whole team really have shut down City so well. 72.5 minutes on the clock. I mean, Martinez with no real extravagant save. Onana on the stretch. They've made a mess here, Aston Villa, but they can clean up quite comfortably. Again, they have so many bodies back. Here's Pau Torres. Lovely touch around the corner there from Rogers to Luca Digne. Onana allowed to turn. Pass on the left foot, easily intercepted. Look at John Duran, though, working off the ball. Sensational centre-forward play. Not just going forward, but defensively. Really is giving Unai Emery a selection headache. And Morgan Rogers, wow, how did he keep the ball under immense pressure? Great balance. They're working tirelessly here, Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins must be watching this from the bench. Looking very, very nervous. His starting spot really is under threat. John Duran doing this against City just increases his stocks. Here's Foden allowed to go for goal, and it's straight at Martinez. He was hit with some venom, but straight at Martinez. Always traveling, though. I think by the time it reached goal, it would have gone over the crossbar. Martinez with assured handling. Going for that quick release, and John Duran looking to give himself, just throw himself around here. Really good work. Tireless play there, showing that he is ready to start. Oh, what a curious back pass that is from Walker. Last week it was Mateus Nunez's back pass that set the downfall of the match. Conceded a penalty straight from there. Kyle Walker's back pass had Ortega scrambling. Here's Foden, much deeper here. Again, Haaland being ignored here. He's been patrolled by Konza and Pau Torres. Here's Grealish, Kovacic. Will be Bernardo Silva by the looks of it, who will be operating in the pockets. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side. Looks for the cutback. Doesn't find Foden, and look who it is defending. It's John Duran. Outstanding, and what a pass that is, almost finding John McGinn there. But Villa, through sheer determination and hard work, win the ball back. John Duran really is giving a masterclass in centre-forward play. Not just going forward, I mean, that's there for everyone to see, back to goal, the way he lays it off. But in terms of defensively, wow. Pretty sure that Unai Emery would have shed a tear here. You know how much he loves work rate and off-the-ball stuff. Digne does so well to keep the ball, and just like that, Villa turn. Here's Tielemans. Again, doesn't have the pass or the option for the forward pass. Instead gives it to Rogers, now to Camara. Villa just almost start rolling here, completely taking the pace off the game. Now looking to pop it around City. Tielemans, lovely shimmy and shake. Here's Camara. Pass around the corner there. Managed to win the ball back here, City, and Haaland can run. He's up against 3 defenders. Make that 4 and 5. He's by himself there, and he's easily dispossessed. But it took 5 guys. That's any consolation to Haaland. As soon as he got the ball, everybody just converged towards the big Norwegian. Very hard to miss him from the pitch. You can see just in a frustrating afternoon for Erling Haaland. Pep and his assistant still looking for solutions. Rogers allowed to turn again. Every time he turns, it's such a dangerous side for Man City. This is just calmly done here. Onana turns away from trouble. And they're just trying to congest that middle of the park. The switch on the left-hand side is on, but that will require Digne to make the run, and he does that promptly. Now looking to stretch the pitch down the left-hand side. Pull City apart and then make the inroads down the middle. That's where Aston Villa do a lot of their damage. John McGinn holding the width on the right-hand side, and Luca Digne on the left. Luca Digne, he's given me so many problems as a commentator. Not easy to say his name. Yes, it's obvious. Luca Digne. Yes, Camara. Lovely skill there. Looks to thread the pass to Tielemans down the center. Dean has got a lot of space on the left-hand side. He's been ignored. And now the ball might come to him. Good defending there by Kyle Walker. Takes no mistake. And chances there. Just heads that away from a corner. Look at Dean making the run down the left-hand side. Look at that acres of space. Tielemans just had to pick his head up. He did see him. Decided to go for the safe pass to McGinn on the right-hand side. McGinn played that first time. To get that whip and curl towards that left foot of Luca Digne. Pep has run through yet another bottle of water here. So the wind just picks up here. You can see the corner flag, the wind coming in this way. It's going to be an interesting claim here for Stefan Ortega. You'll have to be careful. Cross comes in. It's headed away by Josko Guardiola. Matty Cash will recover. Here's Camara. I go back to his goalkeeper. Decides to ping that forward. Again, will do well, but he can't keep that in. Well, Aston Villa really haven't dipped into the bench either, and that is real credit and testament. It's taken 80 minutes to make the first change, and it is the man up front who had given Aston Villa the lead and set things up going forward. John Duran, after a top performance, 80 minutes, he has given it everything, not just going forward, but defensively he has helped his team out. Had a goal disallowed by very tight offside call. He had the opportunity to make it 2-0. But John Duran can be very, very pleased with his evening's work. And it's Ollie Watkins who's got 10 minutes plus stoppage time to maybe just add to Aston Villa's lead. He'd like a goal as well, wouldn't he? Ollie Watkins has struggled in front of goal. Well, I say that, but he is among the top 3 scorers for Aston Villa. I think he's got 5 goals in the league. Let's be doubly sure and just have a look. I like to be accurate more than anything else. Ollie Watkins got 7 goals. John Duran on 6 and Morgan Rogers on 4 before this game took place. And Duran will go to 7 and Rogers on 5. The top 3 scorers for Aston Villa really have done the business. Ball forward there by Pau Torres, and there was a real collision there by Akanji and Lukadin. I think Akanji had gone there forcefully. There's the third substitution that Pep has decided to make. Maybe a bit too late here as Jeremy Doku comes in. No sign of Kevin De Bruyne, and I think this might be an admission of guilt here from Pep Guardiola, deciding not to use De Bruyne, almost focusing on his safety rather than the hopes of trying and pulling 2 goals back and rescuing a point. They'll need Kevin De Bruyne fit and firing for as long as possible. Once again, Aston Villa play out so well out from the back. It's brilliant from Morgan Rogers, who gives it the reverse to Ollie Watkins, and it's straight at Ortega. What an impact that would have been straight off the bench. That was his first touch. Yuri Tielemans and Morgan Rogers. Brilliant once again. Look at this from Tielemans. Under pressure, finds Rogers, evades the challenge, and then the reverse to Watkins is so clever. The angle was against him, but he was by himself. If he had decided to just chop back into his right foot, he had McGinn and Rogers arriving into the box. But yet another clear-cut opportunity for Aston Villa as Pep just throws his hands in the air. Here's Foden. Accelerates away from Watkins, but not from Onana. Heading towards the final knockings of the game, City can yet to really trouble Martinez. That save from Foden is the only one I really remember in the second half, but it was a tame effort, really. A couple of shots, really. One was a forceful one. Oh, it was a full-blooded challenge there from Josko Guardiola. He'll get a yellow card from it. He really went through there. Might have gotten some of the ball, but I think it was more about the intent and the reckless nature of it. Yeah, you can see there the studs are showing, but I think he is fortunate that he does get a bit of the ball first, but that is a yellow card for the Croatian defender. And the best opportunity in the first half for Man City, try and draw them level with that header. As Pep rolls the dice once again off the bench, it is Jeremy Doku who comes on for Mateo Kovacic. Again, yet another midfielder sacrificed for yet another winger, but we have yet to see Savio really. Savinho, again, I keep making that mistake between Savio and Savinho, really make any sort of impact. Hasn't really featured or touched the ball. We're hoping that Doku can inflict some damage here. Changing the wing pairing there. Started off with Grealish and Bernardo Silva, and they'll end with Savinho. What a touch that is from Morgan Rogers. Effortlessly brings it down. As I'm saying, City started the game with Grealish and Bernardo Silva out on the wings. They'll end it with Doku and Savinho. Grealish now playing as one of the number 10s with Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. No real center midfielder here. It's just 4 defenders, 3 number 10s. There's Ortega. Now City playing with a bit more urgency as we look at the second half possession and stats is all in favor of Aston Villa. Nearly 60% of the ball against Man City. Ahead at the shots rate as well as Jeremy Doku gets welcomed to the game with a rough challenge there. Doku feeling the effects of it, but it's a free kick here for Man City. 5 minutes plus stoppage time still to be played. It's been a very enjoyable game of football. Aston Villa, full value for the 2-0 victory so far and all 3 points to take them up to 5th position in the Barclays Premier League. A set-piece opportunity here for City. Had a few of them, but not really capitalized. It's Foden. Ball into the box. Martinez punches. Commanding goalkeeping there from the Argentine. And Villa will just clear that away. And Ortega quickly out of his goal, just trying to get City going again. Here's Bernardo Silva almost play like an auxiliary centre half going forward. Here he is now on the ball at the halfway line. Looking for any sort of movement. City are so static here. No real movement. They're all at a walking pace here. Villa have pinched the ball courtesy of that misplaced pass. And Bernardo Silva has to concede the foul, but McGinn has wriggled out of the challenge brilliantly and he eats the foul. It's a clear yellow card there. Jack Grealish just swipes in on John McGinn, who had no right to wriggle out of that spot there. Almost losing balance. And it's needless there from Jack Grealish, just colliding against his former Villa captain, John McGinn. A lot of history, those two. Shared a dressing room when Aston Villa were in the Championship and made their way into the Premier League before Jack Grealish secured that 100 million move to Manchester City. Everybody talks of Grealish as a massive flop, and there are arguments to be made. In terms of Grealish, first season he comes in, he wins the treble. Since then he wins on 3 Premier League. Well, not the treble in his first season, in his second season rather. He's got 3 Premier League titles, has a Champions League to his name. So in terms of personal success, I would say, and he has that opportunity of putting his medals on the table, we'll have a fair few of them, but in terms of personal impact and really being that man for City, he's got that number 10 jersey. Always felt like he's been a supporting cast rather than one of the main guys. Doku looks to cut that across. Will easily deal with the situation. And on the break here, as we head towards the final 2 minutes of normal time, they have a chance to break. Here's Cash showing unlimited amount of legs here. Great running power. And he wins the throw-in. Brilliant stuff by the Polish right back. Really showed his engine and quality. Don't really remember Grealish doing much in terms of 1v1 damage, in terms of taking him on, not giving him any of those problems to solve. Pep looks like he's run out of answers here as we head towards the final 90 seconds of normal time. Can't imagine too many stoppages that will be added on. Full credit to Aston Villa though. Just the one substitution used. Might see Buendia might come on towards the end here. As we head towards final minute of normal time. Here's Savinho. It's his first opportunity to really open his legs and run at the defense. Instead, he chops back in. He manages to keep possession, but once again, not showing that risk element and that desperate nature. 45 seconds of normal time remaining here. Here's Doku to Rico Lewis. Back to Doku. Will he take on Matty Cash, who's had a very comfortable game despite being on a yellow card? Grealish to Bernardo Silva into the box. Haaland with the header, but it's very well defended. Brilliant work there from Pau Torres. Matching him vertical for vertical on that occasion. Making sure that the Norwegian wasn't going to get a clear header to it. As you see Morgan Rogers here. Outstanding footballer. Brilliant. Surely the man of the match here. But a lot of credit has to go to so many players. It's just been a complete team performance. Don't want to jinx it for Aston Villa rather. But to have a clean sheet against Man City with such a commanding performance, just be the icing on the cake, as it is Morgan Rogers who will come off after a tireless 90 minutes plus. A performance full of quality, capacity, playing for your team. Just an all-round 10 on 10. Morgan Rogers. Emi Buendia, the Argentine number 10, coming on. It's 4 minutes of stoppage time already. 40 seconds of those has just run away from City. Here's Doku. It's been doubled up here, trying to get a bit of space. Takes a bit of contact there from Kamara. As Doku tries to push and run. Really good strength and very well defended by Kamara. Doku's fresh here, still not able to get away from the Frenchman. Here's Walker. Might look to pull the trigger, decides against it. Here's Savinho. Twisting, turning. Again, small steps, not really troubling Villa whatsoever here. Again, forcing City back. Brilliant stuff this from Aston Villa. Here's Savinho to Rico Lewis. Phil Foden can't find Foden. And he'll trickle away harmlessly for a goal kick as the Aston Villa players, led by Emi Martinez, get the crowd riled up here as we head towards the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Forlorn faces on the looks of Manchester City fans. Will have a long trip back to Manchester. It's cold and back of your team losing yet another game. Back-to-back defeats from them. Can Manchester City at least give a consolation goal here? Something for their fans to take back. Something for Guardiola to cling on. The header forward by Guardiola is easily dealt with. They pick up the loose ball though. Here's Walker. Finds Savinho. Looking to run at. He's surrounded by 3 players. Really adventurous running there. Here's Foden. Again, the ball breaks free. It's Phil Foden and he makes it 2-1. There comes the consolation goal. A bit of fortune about how the goal comes about. But Phil Foden with an emphatic strike. And Man City have just about a minute to rescue an unlikely point. It all comes from Savinho showing real drive and determination. Takes on 3 players. Foden gets lucky. Digne slips. And Foden capitalizes from close range, makes no mistake. As you can see, Digne just slips over the ball. City fans celebrate almost ironically here as we head towards the final 45 seconds. It's nearly job done here for Aston Villa. Oh, it's a loose giveaway there by Ortega. Will Villa look to add the finisher here? Heavy touch there from Onana. Manchester City have one last opportunity here. Villa with an uncomfortable end to the game. They were cruising along under no real danger. Oh, heavy challenge there by McGinn on Rico Lewis, and the referee will pull it back. Very unnecessary challenge there from John McGinn. 4 minutes of stoppage time comes to an end. City have one last opportunity as the Scot picks up the yellow card. Tactical foul, but an opportunity for City to load the box here will be Phil Foden. Ball comes into the box. Sure, it's such a disappointing ball. Straight into the hands of Emi Martinez. And that should be that. Emi Martinez is calling for the whistle. And Aston Villa have all but secured a massive 3 points. After losing against Nottingham Forest late on, this would be some performance against Manchester City. It's cleared away. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. It's all 3 points to Unai Emery and Aston Villa, as it's 1 win in 12 for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. It was John Duran who gave Aston Villa the lead, courtesy of a brilliant team move. That man on your screen, Yuri Tielemans, pulling the strings out from the center to find Morgan Rogers, who unselfishly cut it across to John Duran to give Aston Villa a deserved lead, which they took towards halftime. And in the second half, it was all Aston Villa with the possession and the shots on target. And no surprises that they doubled their lead, courtesy of the very impressive Morgan Rogers. He was set up by John McGinn, who made no mistake. Morgan Rogers, the former City man, who just buried that finish past Ortega to make it 2-0 to Aston Villa. And it was Phil Foden with a consolation goal to give City something to cheer about in this very, very dark day and period for Man City. As you can see, in their final 12 games, they won just the one, they've drawn 2, and they have lost 9 games, having conceded 27 goals and just the 1 clean sheet in that time. To say that it's Pep's worst ever period is a bit of an understatement, but it's back to the drawing board for Pep and Man City, as it is Aston Villa who are in 5th position after playing 17 games, and now they can sit back and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Brilliant stuff this at Villa Park. It's full time. It's Aston Villa 2, Manchester City 1.